All right, good morning, everyone.
Ready for the DJ to shut the music down yet?
Yeah, you're good, you're good.
There we go. A good stage right there.
All right. Well, it's about 10:04. Can everybody hear us online? Alicia. Brenda, you're on mute.
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Just want to make sure. All right, everybody. Well, welcome. We got a full house over here today. Everybody say hi.
Hey.
So we're going to kick it off as we always do with tell me something good. So something good that's happened to you professionally, like a new lead that you converted, a new closing. I know we can have at least one tell me something good in the house. Here, how about you kick it off, Sean?
Yeah, I just closed on my first deal yesterday.
All right.
There you go. First deal ever.
Now
Awesome.
next.
Awesome. Anybody else? Or who else? Because we know there's always something good. There's always something good.
I sent out 100 I'm back in the business letters to all of my sphere, and I got 3 huge referrals. Like,
Wow.
definite,
Nice.
big numbers. I'm excited.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How about you? Anybody online have anything they want to share?
I'll share a quick one.
right.
We had a client who had child support, and unfortunately my assistant didn't read the fine print where it had a stipulation regarding the age and when they graduated from school. So we counted the income through when they turned 18, but oops, she graduates school at 17 and a half. So the child support wasn't going to continue for 2.5 years, or 3 years, excuse me. Because any income you get, you have to count for 3 years or you can't count it, right? So that was the hurdle, and oh crap, we're in escrow and we're supposed to close in a week, right? So that's not fun. And so what do you do? So, and unfortunately, if you know me, you know that I absolutely love problem solving. Loans are like a Rubik's Cube. So the good news is I rearranged her cash to close a hair. I finagled the desktop underwriting to get it to approve, and at the end of the day, their payments are actually going to be $400 less per month. And so it was a huge win-win, same out of pocket for the client, but just by rearranging the numbers, if we were successful, and we're still closing on time. But it was a huge victory because I lost about $700 in income, like on the spot. I'm all, ah! So anyways, never give up. Even if you run into hurdles, never give up. Where there's a will, I can tell you there is a way.
Awesome. Thank you, Alicia. While you're on the big screen, you mind just giving us a mortgage update? Like what's happening in the wonderful world of lending?
So rates have been fluctuating like crazy, of course. Honestly, I always find that to be the most valuable get off the fence for clients. So use this to your advantage. They're still really good, but the banks are getting extremely flexible again in their programs. The bank statement only program now went back up to 80% loan to value with extremely competitive rates. So all of your self-employed clients that are getting told they need to wait 2 years for their seasoning, they don't. You do not have to wait a full 2 years now. You can get away with 1 year self-employment, and you can do bank statements with as little as 20% down with very competitive conforming rates. So I am seeing the banks get more creative and offering good rates with that being said.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions for Alicia? Any problems you're running into lending wise, like getting clients pre-approved, anything like that?
Does she have a good commercial? Alicia, do you have a good commercial referral?
Believe it or not, my sister, she does
There you
commercial
go.
loans.
Keep it in the family.
She does commercial loans for Bank of the West.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so
I'll
you want
text
to
you
text
about
me? Definitely, yeah.
If
You wanna
anybody
text me,
wants to-
I'll give you her info.
If anybody wants to get a hold of you, Alicia, what's the best phone number? I know we do this every week, just in case.
Not a problem. 916-256-6486. One quick nugget I will say, guys, is getting your loan officer, whoever it is, to underwrite all your loans. And I know Brent agrees same way. While people are house shopping, having them underwritten first makes your offer so much sexier than everybody else.
Yep.
that you almost just need to make that mandatory. But the truth is, we as lenders need your guys' help, because the clients, they don't understand how valuable that is. So they think, well, I'm just going to trickle in my documents. And you as the agent have to go, have you got them everything? Because having that basically clear to close loan approval, which is going to let them close in the 10 days, 10 to 14 max, all docs have to be in. You can't try to get us to give you those pre-approval letters with contingent documents needed. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
really hammer in on your clients to say, have you gotten the lender everything? Just checking. Hey, lender, do you have everything? Does that make sense? But we need your help, because the clients, if you don't think it's urgent, the clients are like, it's not urgent, and it is urgent for
I'll
us to
tell
close
you
fast.
a funny story on that. Kathy and I are buying a house right now, and through a builder, and we're using their lender, the builder's lender, and so I actually worked with Alicia on that. We spoke about it and talked about it. But we're approved, right? Totally good. 700 FICO scores. We're good to go. Great income, no problem. And but it wasn't underwritten. Like, she's coaching you, and they came back, oh wow, yeah, it shows you never filed your tax return in 2018. We filed it twice. We paid the taxes. We're good. But the problem is, you want to get a jumbo loan. They're like, we're not playing that game. We need to have proof that you paid. So we're refunding. The IRS is busy with COVID. Like, maybe in a month. And we almost lost our home because of that. So the builder's lender's like, well, hey, just put up an extra $400,000 and all is well. And fortunately, we're in a position where we could do that, but not all of your clients can do that. So if you make a big deal of it to the listing agent, all those other approval letters, they really don't mean boo. A pre-qualification means nothing.
Yep.
A pre-approval letter really means nothing. That's no guarantee that loan's going through. What? I am pre-approved means nothing. Underwriter, DU, underwritten loan, big deal. I don't even think listing agents understand it, and you need to clarify them. Ours is a DU, like, we just need a contract, purchase agreement, and the appraisal. We're done. That's why we can close in 11 days. That's why you're going to get paid in 11 days if you work with me. And you got to have some conviction, you got to have the good spot, then you get done. When I hang up, you're going to hear from my lender in the next 30 seconds. And then your lender calls and brags on that client till the cows come home. It's all part of a sales job. You don't sell that lender. You better sell that lender. Otherwise, you'll be high and dry. Drew has had a lot of listings. The sales head snap up. Drew, when you have 10 offers on a listing, you really want to know you're going into escrow with the sharpest agent, with the client who wants it the most. And you got to believe in the lender, right? If you don't believe, you may have a great agent and nice clients, but if you don't believe in that lender, you get a red flag. Are they going to get that house, Drew?
No. But
Yep.
they have to have, the people that get my listings are the ones that use what Brent says and has the lenders call me, right? Out of 10 offers, I might get 3 or 4 of the agents that actually call me, right? That's great. And then I get 1, maybe 2 that the lenders call me right away. Okay?
Yep.
Those are the ones that really make the biggest impact, because I can talk to them and I know exactly where that client is.
You stand out. Out. Communication is key with the listing agent. Communicate, be friendly, be upbeat, don't be desperate, but in there. And what is the number one complaint? I meant to cover this last week of a seller with us. When you get a listing, number one complaint, I don't hear from my agent enough. You're like, I call them every week. Listen to me. If they're calling you or texting you, you have choked, but I call them twice a week. Apparently you get a client who wants to be contacted every day. Think of something to tell them, shoot them a text. So let you know we're on it. Let you know we're reaching out to this person. Just make up some BS thing. But if they're texting you, go, where are we at? Let me translate that for you. You're a complete idiot and you're leaving me in the dark. That's what's up. And you're thinking, that's not fair. Fine. You're just not getting referrals from that client because they want a very high level of service, right? And so I'm super chill, whatever. Yeah, done. Let me know when I need to come sign. I'm not going to get involved. But not everyone's like me. Not everyone's like you. So know your client, know thy client. Just know this: if they've had to email, call, or text you and ask you a question, you're like, Hey, how can I help you? Do you have any questions? Just checking today. We're on it. We're working on this. Make up something that, I mean, that's true, but like, you know, we're still in touch with the appraiser, waiting for that appraisal. Like, did we get it? Did we get it? You send them out. They don't have to wonder if you're on it. Where are we at? You tell them, you're telling them you're on it. That's simple. Does that make sense? And then you'll get referrals. Go ahead, Alicia.
Really quick marketing tip for you guys for this week in particular, because the news is going to be blaring it. But there's like 117,000 mortgages that are coming out of forbearance. So clients are now forced to make their payment when they've been on a 6-month hiatus of no payments. So this is when people are going to decide to sell, right? Because they're going to go, do we really want to live here anyways? So market to your clients, hey, everybody, you know, is your loan out of forbearance and you're thinking of making the change, right? Now's a good time where people are like, do I really want to pay $3,500 for this when I can go get something better? So just keep that on your radar to touch out to your database this week, or send a database email, something to alert them to go, great time. You could, you know, make a ton of extra money right now.
Alicia, is there a way like there is with notice of defaults to find out who's in forbearance? Does Revo Gateway or any of those companies have that info?
I don't know. I wouldn't know where to acquire. I have that. I don't know where to acquire that data externally. Within our own company, they tell us if any of our clients are doing that, but I don't know how to pull external data on that.
All right, thank you.
So you could ask that question on Facebook, Barry. You could also ask that question on Workplace Chat, and you may get lucky. Somebody go, yeah, reach out to me. I'll tell you exactly how to do it. So maybe not, but it's worth a shot. All right.
And last week, Cindy was talking about how she sent out a newsletter to all of her past clients, and she got 3 listings out of it, right? What Alicia just shared, that might be a great newsletter idea for all of your sphere or your past clients or people you're working with, right? Trying to convert, get them off the fence, say, hey, beat the wave, list today.
Yeah, that's a good point, guys. I had one of my agents just really perplexed on what to send out to people. She says, I just don't know what to talk to my people about. I just don't know what to talk to them about. If you're coming to these meetings every week, I guarantee you, twice a week with my meeting and this meeting, and you guys are all welcome at my meeting too. And twice a week, you've got stuff coming up that you can talk about. There's no reason whatsoever to come out of our team meetings at our level and not have something to talk about. It's just impossible.
Like,
You're just not paying attention.
you know, like talk about home inspections. Your home doesn't have to be on the market. You should get a home inspection once a year, once every couple of years, just to check up on the health of your home. You could do pre-inspections before your home goes on the market. You can talk about staging. You can talk about the 7 most cost-effective ways to prepare your home for market. Give them some great tips and send that out. You could talk about interest rates, how they're going to go up this year. So if you are going to switch homes, don't wait 6 months. Do it now. Market's hot now, and you could lock in a low interest rate. And if it goes up a quarter, half a point, that could be $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 of interest. Do you want to burn $30,000? Wait till November, and if those rates go up, you're literally burning $30,000. You may not even be able to buy the home you want because you're only qualified. So there's different topics you could talk about each week. 7 great strategies for sellers. I mean, it's so easy. Loans, appraisals. Talk about appraisal when you could actually come up with the whole list. Really easy. Why photography matters on your home. So super easy to do. Just get with Barry, get with me, get with some other leaders, and we'll help you through that.
Yeah, or pop it on the Brent Gove team page. So
Yeah.
For Alicia about lending, so if somebody's in forbearance and they want to sell their house, can they get another loan right away on something else?
Yes, as long as their forbearance is paid off, which it will be through the sale of the home. So there's only a wait period if somebody's trying to like refinance. If somebody's trying to refinance and they modified, we do make them make 3 payments on time. If somebody is in forbearance and they sell and it's now paid off, it is now then met. The criteria has been met, which was you do not have to pay for X amount of time as an example. And so unless you basically pay them off. So if you sell, they're being paid in full. So the agreement is being met. They are now allowed to acquire a new mortgage, but not until it's paid in full. You can't buy ahead of time and try to pay that old mortgage off, after the fact. You have to pay it off first. So we did just implement, this is not on forbearance, but we did just open a new program where we are allowing people to not count their old mortgage when they go to buy, as long as it's listed. So that is something we are allowing as a bank, is that if somebody is trying to purchase and they don't want to wait for the sale, but let's say their income doesn't qualify with both houses, we're actually allowing them to not count that old payment as long as it's listed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you run into that, that is something we just adapted this week, where we won't count it against them as long as they list with you. No. So as long as they listed, we don't have to count it against them, which is nice.
So Alicia, along with that, forgive me, this is Tom Costello. Do you require 3 payments before you'll allow them to take advantage of that?
Well, we're talking about, that's refinancing. If somebody wants to refinance and they did a forbearance, or they did a modification, or they changed the terms of their loan, we do want them to make 3 payments on time.
That's not the case in a sale.
But that's not with the purchasing of a home. If
Okay.
somebody is going to purchase, as long as they pay off the old loan, they can turn right around and purchase.
So as soon as the forbearance is lifted, they could list it right away and say, we
They
want
can
out.
get financing right away. Mhm.
Okay, cool. And they qualify.
Yeah, they have to qualify.
And we got somebody else, a local legend in the room, Rodney Rose. Since we're talking about loans, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I think that's all great. I just would add in there is precautionary on the forbearance. If they were missing the payment on that, hopefully they didn't during that time either load up on additional debt, which some people have done, or missed other payments, which was gonna hurt the FICO, right? So it's really what she was saying about getting pre-approved in advance is super, super important to make sure, because you don't want them to be homeless, right? They sold their house and they, all you were talking about was just forbearance, and then there was the other issues to get qualified as well.
That can happen. Yeah.
True.
definitely.
Good point, Rodney. Thank you.
Awesome. Hey, real quick, I just want to, let me flip this around. Real quick, I wanted to share this class right now. At this exact moment, there is a course taking place at SAR. We've spoken about Ryan in the past. So SAR offers Sacramento Association of Realtors, for those of you. Is it showing up on the screen for Brent? Can you guys see that over there?
No, we can't.
We can fix that. That's easy. Sacramento Association of Realtors, right now, this exact moment, Ryan Lundquist is giving a presentation for his monthly market update. It is recorded. So what you can do, and you just hop on to SAR, go to their calendar, and you can scroll down. And today, Ryan's market update, go on here. It only costs $15. You'll get a recording of it. And then you can watch it at your own leisure. You can screenshot it. You can take everything, always reference Ryan if you take screenshots and put it in your newsletters or other marketing, but it only costs $15. I prefer to watch the recordings because then I can speed it up. I can watch it at 1.5, 2 times the regular rate and go through an hour presentation in 30 minutes. So that's me. But if you're curious and you want that information, you can go to SAR, just hop on the calendar and it's right there, Ryan Lundquist. Any questions on that?
Last week's meeting on that too, right? The one you did here?
Correct. Yeah. And Brent's meeting. So last week he spoke on how to write offers in today's market and win. You can go right here. You can hop on and buy it. It was $10 if you'd like to catch the recording. We are going to give it to the team members for free. But for example, Brent's class is also available. So
Is there a way I can have my conversations with my wife on that 1.5 time speed up?
I just tune out. I just tune out. Yeah. I agree.
Hey, Barry.
I
Barry.
want to attend Barry and Johnny's class on marriage success. That's what I want.
No, you don't. No, not at
Hey,
all.
Barry, did you have to do the auto detail? Did that work for you, or did you get close?
Oh yeah, no, we, you know what, guys, I've never done this before. I've had a long relationship with Brent. And sometimes Brent tends to exaggerate things. That's something I've heard. So, I listen to him with one ear and the other ear, I'm going, oh yeah, that's gonna work for Brent, but it's not gonna work for me, right? And I got into this situation. I've been fighting with these clients trying to find them a house. You would think that all they're wanting is a 5-bedroom with a nice backyard. And they want to be in this Baldwin Dam area, American River Canyon, Baldwin Dam, this side, Folsom on this side. You would think that for $1 million budget, I could find that house. we've been trying and getting beat out and beat out and beat out. And it probably has nothing to do with it. But I totally offered the lady, I told her, I said, you know what, I'm gonna get your car detailed for you. And she's like, you can't, no, you don't need to do that. I said, you can't stop me. I used Brent's quote, you can't stop me from doing it. I don't know, we're in contract.
That's awesome.
I rest my case. So use those techniques. It works. They're like, oh, that's not important. And then you get your deal done. They're like, when's he coming over? By the way, if you don't know, this should be on our team page, Top Women in Real Estate. It's going to sell out any day. You should all be there July 7th. And it's going to be really good. So sign up for that. Top Women in Real Estate. We're flying in 2 speakers. Raise your hand if you know about that and you're going. And I don't want, there you go. Barry, put your hand down. It's Top Women in Real Estate. Now,
You said we should all be there.
I got
So,
invited by Marguerite herself, so I can come.
all right. I was just kidding. I want to give you time.
And in the back.
Then I'm going to actually do an event in Vacaville later in the month with 7 key ways to obtain listings and 7 key winning strategies to get your offers accepted live. That'll be in Vacaville the 3rd week in July. If anybody wants a bomb out there, and there'll be about 100 people. That'll be fun. I'll get you the dates later. And then finally, I believe it's the 20th. And then finally, end of the month, haven't got the information out yet. Rob's in the back though. He can tell you it's July 29th, Thursday from 2 to 4 p.m. We're flying in Kyle Whistle from Southern California. He'll sell like $350 million worth of real estate. He's an absolute genius. Had to bribe him with the French Laundry in Napa. It's going to cost me $5,000 for dinner. And so he'd never been to the French Laundry, and he just happened to okay, I'll do it. So he's going to come up and teach you. And the guy is an absolute rock star. So these are all great chances to learn more about real estate, sell more for your families. And they're great, what I call soft recruiting events. A great place to bring other agents to show them the value of EXP. We have Top Women in Real Estate. I'm doing some stuff. We're bringing in a mega superstar, Kyle Whistle. The Top Women in Real Estate, they're bringing in Elizabeth Riley and Sheila Fairground, who have national and international real estate success. They're flying in from Texas. So we do all these cool things. That's just 3 big events this month. So the great, again, soft recruiting events. It's not about EXP. It's about them and helping their families and learning to get better. And if you're smart, you'll have guests there. You'll bring 4 or 5 guests and they'll love it. And then it just, you making a deposit and they're like, man, that's a cool group, And like all of you at one point were a guest at my team meeting. Every single one of you were there for at one time, not on the Brent Gove revenue share team meeting and all that. You were checking it out. Now a lot of you are here. And even today, I know there's some guests in the room, which is really cool. Welcome. And we were all there, and so, it's one team, one dream, agent owned. It's so cool. By the way, the stock is up again today. It's almost $40 a share. And that was after splitting. So really it's like 80 a share, up from $2.90 when we joined. So it just keeps going. By the end of the year, I think you're going to see that stock around 80 to 90 a share, which is more like 160 to 180 a share because of the split. You got to add them back together to get the true effect. It's kind of a neat side note. That's all I want to say. John, I'll give it back to you.
Awesome. No, good stuff. Can we get all of those classes on the Team Gove Brent page?
Yeah, so Cloud Whistle is going to be on the 29th, Thursday, the 29th, and we got PCAR, so we should be able to fit 250, 300 in there. So we'll be one of their first big events back. So
Speaking of which, PCAR is back open for Tuesday meeting. So if you have never, some of you are newer in the business and have never been to a PCAR Tuesday meeting, just be careful when you go there because a lot of agents there don't sell any houses. So don't listen too much. You take the good stuff, ignore the rah-rah.
That's the truth.
It is a good place. I still go learn stuff from there. And so it is a good place to go. They did put up some special, Brent, you'll love this. Pre-meeting, they have a notice about this is not a place to recruit, blah, 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 blah. So
that's awesome. Well, yeah, and don't be there to be a friend, help people, help them with their practices, share what you know. By the way, I want Cindy Silva, John and Barry and Rob to speak next Thursday here. She may break my record. My record's 14 sales in a month. Nobody has broken that for 18 years that I've set that record. And I think Cindy's going to break it this month. Last I heard, she had 10 in escrow in like 12 days. And so she's going to break the record. So we will celebrate her. If she doesn't, I will give her one hell of a hard time about getting close. But I think that if she breaks my record, a record that stood for 18 years, that she should share what she's doing. And you guys should sit up, take notes, write like crazy, pick up on that energy, that vibe, whatever she's doing, and be a little crazy. Get out there and mix it up with the community. And success is a math problem. You're just not talking to enough people. You're not hungry enough. You're too comfortable. And so some of you are struggling financially right now. Good. I hope it gets worse. I hope you get angry at yourself and you go to hell with being like self-conscious and what will they think about me? What will they think about me is a good way to stay living in your apartment and driving that broken down clunker forever. If you love people and you're out there, who cares what they think about you? You know what I mean? If you're kind, it's like, they don't think good. Like if people don't think good about me, that's on them. I love them. I got no problem with anybody, right? And so that's on them. So you got to get to that point where you're not worried about what people will think. If you have love in your heart and you're out there reaching out, you tell them, I've got a goal to sell 5 homes this month. I could sure use the help. If you know one thinking about listing their home, if you want to focus, talk about that. If you want to focus on buyers, talk about that. I'd focus on listings. Buyers are easy to get. Listings are done. And so long story short, tell them if when it closes escrow, where's your favorite restaurant? McCooney's, Morton's, Ruth Chris, El Fornio. You never know what they're going to say. Sienna's, Paul Martin's. I go, I will give you a $500 gift card if you get me someone when we close escrow. And they're like, really? I mean, some of you are like, no, but some people are like, are you serious? 500? I go, yeah. It only costs $100 to eat at Cattleman's. Well, then you're going to dinner 5 times on me. And I go, you couldn't stop me. And so you got to do the old WIFM. What's in it for me? Now you can't put that on Facebook. You can't do an email blast. That's just a personal private gift you give people. The DRE would not want to see that on your Facebook page. They consider you giving them dinner, real estate compensation for a transaction. They consider it like paying them money. But that said, after the transaction's closed, it's over. If you want to say thank you, give someone a nice card and a note and do that. It happens all the time, but you cannot do giant mailers or Facebook or TV and radio with that. It's a personal thing. You say thank you. So enough said, you get the idea.
Awesome. Well, hey, we got a guest speaker in today, Mr. Cliff Hinkle with Summit Partners. He's going to be talking about how to get insurance on those uninsurable properties.
Yes. How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Doing good. Funny story is that's actually how I met Alicia.
Yeah.
She had a deal that was in Applegate, and Applegate's one of those right on borderlines of insurable, non-insurable. And she just says, hey, best insurance agent. So that's my niche, guys, is I've helped so many people in those areas.
He's great.
Can you explain real quick for them why that's hard to do? Because they don't.
So
people might not
the
know.
insurance industry, you guys have noticed over the last 5 years, we've had catastrophic wildfires. Paradise, Bear Creek, the LNU wildfire. They changed how they underwrite the insurance anymore. So they go off of what's called a fire line score, and then they have a protection class score. So I know a lot of you guys go out there and go, oh, there's a fire hydrant property, there's a fire station across the street. Why can't we get insurance? That's totally irrelevant anymore. So how they do it is they go off a fire line score of a 0 all the way up to a 15. Think of it in percentages. 0 would mean right here in smack dab of Roseville. 0%, if there's a catastrophic wildfire, there's a 0% chance that the house is going to burn down to the ground. As you start moving up the hill, 9, 8, 10, that's 80%, 90%, 100%. So when you get into places like Auburn Lake Trails and Cool, that's a 15. That means that it's got about 150% chance if there's a catastrophic wildfire, you're going to have a total loss.
It's gonna burn twice.
Correct. So what ends up happening is, as we start shopping around for your guys' insurance for your new buyers, we go on and it just lets us know right off the bat it's going to be ineligible. Then we have to do California Fair Plan. How many agents have ever had to deal with the Fair Plan? It's a nightmare. Okay, it's a nightmare. So that's my niche, is I work with the Fair Plan specifically, and where my value is for you as agents is you guys don't get paid to drive your clients around. You get paid to sit in your car. You get paid to close escrows. The only way that you can close escrow is make sure that the insurance gets done, because we're the last piece to make sure your deal gets closed. and I know Alicia can attest to this, is you have a lot of agents that don't understand the industry of real estate and loans. I've been in both. I was actually a part of Tom Dave's team when he was with Kevin Williams. I was one of his ISAs. So I know how hard you guys work to call and generate listings. So whoever you guys work with your insurance, just make sure that you tell them, please, when the lender requests the evidence of insurance, please get that over like ASAP. I'm not talking the next day, I'm talking within the next hour, usually within the next 15 minutes, if you guys can do that. That's where you as agents work with your lender and you drive that client and get them on the phone. Sometimes you're dealing with Geico, you're dealing with these big corporations. They don't have any sense of urgency. So if you guys would like to, that's why I work with Alicia. She sends me pretty much all of her buyers. Again, it's going to be up to the client if they want to use us or not. But if you guys do decide to use us, I will make sure that everything gets done on time right away. But to circle back with the FAIR plan, how it's working out is you got, like you said, your fire line score and your protection class score. Your protection class score is your fire hydrant and fire station. So that goes from a 0 all the way to a 15 as well. So the higher you go up, the higher the insurance is going to be. So where I'll come into value for you guys have my card. If you ever have any clients that are going to go up into the foothills, call me. Text me their addresses. I don't care. I don't even need their names. I'll use Mary Smith, 45 years old. Okay. You guys don't have to give me any information, just the address. Any buyer that you guys want to go show homes to, I'll run quotes for. And here's the values, because if you're dealing with a client that's got a tight budget that can only afford $200 a month for their insurance, and insurance is going to cost $400 a month, why are you going to go show them that house? You just wasted your time and you wasted your client's time. Know that up front before you even go drive them to that house. Even here in Roseville, Rockland, Granite Bay, the cost of the insurance has gone up because if you've seen the building materials gone up. Okay, so just make sure that a very easy calculation for you guys to know is price per square foot. We go off of $250 a square foot minimum. You just take the square footage times it by 250, that should be your dwelling amount. Very simple, very easy to do. Anything less than $200 a square foot, your clients are underinsured. Okay, and a lot of agents will just underinsure the property just to make sure that they get the deal. Okay, so
Cliff, that's the amount of insurance they need.
that's the amount of insurance.
250 times square foot is the amount of insurance.
Correct. That's what we
It's not
recommend on a standard Roseville Rockland home. You're getting into like Los Lagos, you're getting into Granite Bay. Now you're getting into like $300, $400 a square foot. It just really depends upon how custom the house is.
What's the difference between a fire protection rated 5 or 6, something you'd find down here, versus Applegate, something rated a 15?
So an Applegate's like a fire line score of a 5. So the difference between here and there is the difference between having to do the California FAIR plan and having to do your standard.
No, what's the difference in price?
Oh gosh.
Roughly. Is it twice as much, 3 times as much?
You're talking the difference between a $1,000 policy and could be between $3,000 and $4,000 a year.
Or maybe more.
Or more.
Right.
Yeah, I had one that was 1,200 and it went to 9,500.
Correct.
Yeah, the current owner selling was paying 1,200, had to do the California FAIR plan, and by doing that, it jumped to 9,500, which found out at the last minute before closing.
Correct.
Luckily, GTI didn't get blown out,
Yes.
but yeah, but some of the buyers might go, whoa, I don't want $1,000 a month, just in more home insurance.
So that could be a $50,000 drop in approved price, is what you're trying, to translate that another way. They were approved at 600,000, now they can only buy a 550 house.
I'll do it for all your listings as well. That's how I got into real estate, is I saved a listing agent one of the listings. I gave him a quote, nobody could find insurance for it. I just said, Mary Smith, keep this in your file, don't tell anybody about it. If you can't find insurance and everybody's going, hey, can't find insurance, they offered a counter and said, can you reduce your list price by $15,000? Cover the insurance for the first year. She goes, here, call my insurance agent. And we came in, we ended up saving the deal. The listing agent still maintained full list price. So I'll do it for all your listings, just to give you guys a heads up of what's going to be at, and I'll do it for your guys' buyers. It doesn't take me a long time to do it at all. And Alicia can attest to this. When she asks for evidence of insurance, how long does it usually take, Alicia?
Oh, you're super fast, same day.
Yes, same day.
Within a
I
couple
have an assistant right now that if I'm here, I could literally forward her, and she's been doing it for 12 years, so she can put everything together for me, even if I'm not in the office. So if you guys have any questions, you got my cards.
Yeah, so the cards are here. Darlene asked, who are you and how can she get a hold of you? She's online.
Oh, Darlene Cliff. Last name is Hinkle, Hinkle. And then my best contact number is 916-622-4310. And my office is right here in Roseville, next to the fountains. Off of 951 Reserve Drive.
Can I give a shout out to Cliff real quick? Johnny, I wanted to share you guys, if this ever happens to you and you're in escrow and a lender calls you and goes, hey, this is gonna fall apart. We had an issue. We have a debt ratio problem now, and it's not gonna work. Insurance is one of the first places I go to shimmy down the monthly payments. Here's what you can advise your clients to do. Hey, I've got an idea. Let's collect some data first. Again, to lower the debt ratio, you can always get the rate down, but two, Cliff was helping me on this exact same deal where I was trying to shimmy down the debt ratio. You can call the insurance agent and collect data on how to get that policy the lowest you can get. In this case, we had the client who's like, it's jeopardizing my coverage. So I suggested an umbrella policy, a separate umbrella policy. Well, here's the good news. We, the lender, don't count that umbrella policy in the debt ratio. So my debt ratio went, and I got a cheap policy. In this case, it was like $75 less a month, okay? But the client had a separate umbrella policy that I didn't have to count, and now the loan worked. So always reach out to insurance if you find that the lender ran into a snag and now you need to help the client lower monthly payments. Your insurance guy is your friend because he can help you shimmy that policy down to bring the payments down and the ratios down. So he's a huge, wonderful resource if the file runs into an issue during escrow.
Because you guys can always, and what I advise Alicia, hey, what's the highest deductible that you can go to? Well, you can go to a $7,500 deductible. Great. Let's bump up the deductible. We'll shimmy down the personal property as low as we possibly can. Close escrow, because once the bank closes, they don't care what they do with the insurance, as long as it's in place. And what they're really concerned about, and the only reason why they want you to have insurance is because they want to make sure that A, the house gets paid off or the house gets rebuilt. The loan gets paid off. That's it. So you can structure it. So work with your lender, work with your insurance agent. If you guys have any questions, I will literally review your insurance for your clients and tell you what to do to make sure that they get the right deal. I don't care about getting your guys' business. I know it'll eventually come around. I just want to make sure that you guys don't lose any of your deals, because right now, you don't have any time to lose any deals because the market's too dang hot. It's too competitive. And you guys are working your tails off to try to even get a deal or close an escrow. So you guys got my
100%.
cards there.
No pun intended. That was fire, Cliff. Who knew about the loan, the debt to income thing and how you can shrink that down?
No.
Raise your hand if you knew about that. Yeah, I did not know about that.
I didn't
Barry,
either.
how long have you been doing this, Barry?
20 years.
Yeah. So that, I mean, tell your friends, come to this
I'm
meeting.
your friend because I've been in real estate and I've been in mortgages. I used to work at Summit Funding. So that I've been in both industries. So I understand the generation aspect and I understand the structuring aspect of it. And I know that the last piece is the insurance, and the insurance, my thought is this: should never lose a deal over insurance, ever.
I agree.
Just
I
food for
agree.
thought.
Yeah.
You just gotta have somebody that can think outside the box and be creative and work with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Cliff. Hey, by the way, he has a ton of business cards and flyers on the main table. If you didn't get one, make sure you grab one before you leave. And then one more time, Cliff, what's that phone number?
It is 916-622-4310.
Perfect. All right, anybody have questions for Cliff before we move on? No, we went deep on that. Awesome. Okay. Well, I just kind of just want to like mic drop, like just end the meeting right now. That was so good. But there are a couple things that is important to cover, because there's agents brand new agents and agents that have been doing this 20 years, like Barry, or since I think Rodney wrote Moses's loan on the first tent back in the day, right? So, but for those newer agents, Like you're hearing these great success stories about how Cindy has, potentially 14, 15 deals in escrow. What does that mean to you? How can you get to that point, right? How can you get food on your table? Yes, motivation is one thing, but how are we going to implement? So there's two things that I wanted to share that I hopefully you'll get some value out of. Number one, open houses. They're back, right? They're back in a big way. They're free to do. Look all these faces. There's tons of listings in this room that are happening every single week. Reach out on the Brent Gove team page and do those open houses. Cindy, Rob's wife, she held an open house for Valerie and I while we were out. The house was listed at 850, 875. She's got it in contract for 885. That's a $20,000 check for holding an open house.
And got the listing from the other side.
So this is real life. This is something anybody in this room could be doing. Now, I'm not saying every single open house you get is going to be a $20,000 check, but every single open house you don't do is going to net you zero. Okay, fair enough?
Increase the probability.
Increases the probability. And the second thing is, nobody's going to like this. Nobody's going to like this. Online, you are not going to like this. Okay. The second thing is, when are you showing up to work? Like consistently every single day. Are you getting to work at 10 o'clock? Are you like rolling out of bed and starting at 9? Right? When are you do a time audit, just a mental time audit on how much you are actually prospecting every single day. Is it 1 hour? Is it 2 hours? Is it 0 hours? The agents like Cindy or the agents like Barry that are selling a lot of homes, or like Valerie, consistently lead generate. And so what you need to do is take control of your own destiny and decide, hey, I'm going to be at work at 8 o'clock. My goal, I'm in that parking lot 8 o'clock every morning, Monday through Friday. Okay. So maybe Josie's laughing at me because sometimes I show up at 6:30 when I meant to go to the gym and I end up here. So today I was going to the pool. I was like, okay, I'm going to swim, blah, blah, blah. And the next thing I know, I'm in the parking lot here. I'm like, crap. I went to work. I was on autopilot. So that's why Josie's laughing at me. But like, when are you, and you don't have to come to the office. Maybe you have a home office, right? Maybe you have a coffee shop that you work at, but when are you showing up to work? Okay. Barry, when do you show up to work?
I generally work I work a little bit at the house from 7 o'clock to about 8 o'clock, and then I come in to work. I usually work from 9 to about 7. So and my son was actually messing with me the other day. We were trying to calculate cost of time and how much time, I was putting in. And I asked him, he thinks I work more than 60 hours a week. You think he's pushing 70, he says that I'm pushing 70. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't say that everybody has to work like that. If I was a little smarter, had a little more self-discipline, maybe I wouldn't work so much. But I enjoy what I do. And I've always enjoyed what I do. My son's like, you're always on. I enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard for me to turn it off. But I would say consistently, one thing I do consistently is lead generate. I'm a good 2 hours a day. I think if you're not doing 2 hours a day, you're probably in the wrong business.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't be here long, or at least you won't have much fun while you're here. My dad used to tell me when I was selling peanut brittle when I was very little, he used to say, it's a lot more fun when people are buying.
Mm-hmm.
And that is flat out true. It's a lot more fun when you're succeeding. Brent used to say, this is an easy business to do hard and a hard business to do easy.
100%.
So,
And I'd say too, one last thing on it to piggyback is that it isn't just about the length of time. Okay,
That's a good point.
It's the
What do you do?
consistency and the quality of the timing. Okay, like for example, I have 4 little kids. I'm always being a dad. I love being a dad. And so there's times where I work my lead gen into my drives. I work at it. We're in the grocery store. I have picked up listings at the park from meeting parents I never knew before. Okay, it's consistency and always having that lead gen is top of your mind, right? Where's my next deal? Where's my next deal? I'm calling people, I'm doing stuff on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, one of my investors might like this place. Oh, this person wants this person. It's consistency in what you guys are going to see, especially if you're first starting out, is keep that consistency for 2 to 3 months. And you know what,
Change your life.
what Brent says, enjoy the suck for that time frame, okay? And enjoy it, because all of a sudden you're going to see that 60 to 90 days of consistency all of a sudden I don't know how, but I have my first listing. I don't know how, but I have my first buyer. I just had my first closing. Well, it's consistency. That's how. Okay, you keep that going throughout, and you'll have that consistency in your business.
And it's kind of easy to, Brent talks about paying $400,000 over, putting an extra 400 grand down. Those are huge numbers. I cannot even fathom that, Mr. Brent Gove. But when I get to work, he's already been here for 30 minutes when he's not in Puerto Rico, right? So if you want to be successful, do what the successful people are doing, as cliche as it sounds, but it's so easy. It's so easy to do it. And but it's so easy not to do as well. So does anybody have any questions about those two things, open houses and just having a dedicated time that you're going to start working?
I love, John, I love the saying, if you want to be successful, you can do it by working half days. Just pick any 12 hours you want.
True.
It's cool though. Once you get the momentum, you can back off and everything you touch turns to gold. It's like when you need it, you can't have it. That's real estate. But when you don't need it, the phone rings off the hook. By the way, if you want to be successful, schedule a vacation, because just before you leave, it's going to break loose. You'll get people that want to list their home with you. You get people that want to, it's crazy. So
or get your wife pregnant.
A little 3-day What?
I said, Valerie got pregnant. We're busier than we've ever been. So I'm like, why didn't we do this 7 years ago?
Yeah.
That's what she's been asking me for 7 years.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
If you work hard at it, it's easy. You must.
Oh boy.
I gotta go. We'll see you guys next week. By the way, I'll be live in person. What's that, next week? A week after. Next week, I'm in Costa Rica with Tony Robbins, running through the jungle half naked or something crazy. But the following Thursday, I'll be there. I'll have some great stories about crocodiles, zip lines, going down 400-foot waterfalls, and I don't know. So this may be the last time you see me. If it is, love you guys. It's been great.
See you, Brent.
You guys later. Bye-bye. Good job,
All right,
John.
guys, real quick, I think Alicia had one more thing.
Yay. Okay. I just realized this is important and you guys might not even know it's a thing. I had a surviving spouse client doing a VA loan who was in escrow, and I got the call, hey, this is falling out. It's a manual underwrite. She has a 540 credit score. I'm like, oh God, but she needed to be out of her house by the end of this month. Okay, so how crucial is timing? The loan fell out of escrow. She had to let that house go because there was no fixing it. But in the last 7 days, I've had to submit her for rapid rescore twice. I've gotten her up 50 points in 7 days. And I completely removed a apartment. She had an eviction. I literally got it deleted off her credit. I didn't do anything weird besides calling the entities and saying, hey, give some grace to this poor lady. Here's the tough time she fell upon. If we pay you in full today, will you delete it? You make enough of those calls, they agree to it because they want the money, right? So boom, we got 2 things deleted in less than 7 days and 50 points in her score. So if your lender, because the previous lender was like, well, do this and call me back in a month, scratch that. You need action. You can get that score up in under a week, 50 points, and bring that borrower back to life. Does that make sense? So
100%.
Don't give up on your people with bad credit. FHA loans and we can do loans in 500 credit scores. It's a thing, but somebody has to be willing to put the work in. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And that's what most people are giving up on those clients. Oh yeah. So I talked to so-and-so and they said I can't get approved. Or they talked to so-and-so and I got to wait a year, right?
Not true.
So get them in front of a lender like Alicia or Rodney and get them approved. 100%.
Yep.
One last thing before we call this lovely meeting to an end is Barry's going to start doing something on a weekly basis.
Oh, guys, when you look at you guys, everybody in this room understands that we're an attraction-based company. And so that our company rewards you for attracting people to the company. And so one of the ways that when you follow a leader, one of the ways that you look at Brent and say, how did he do it? Well, guess what Brent and James did for what? 2 years straight with no breaks, lunch and learns. 2 years straight, no breaks. Now, you might think to yourself, everybody already knows about EXP. No, they don't. They don't. I don't know stuff that I should know, and I've been told it 1,000 times. They need to come and hear it again, and then they need to hear it again, and then they need to hear it again. So we're gonna reinstitute right here in this room, lunch and learns again. You're not gonna have to go off-site. We're gonna do it right here. Bring people to this meeting. I'll be hosting a meeting. There might be times other people will host the meeting. We're gonna be playing Brent doing the talking. And so we're just gonna get them in the room and we'll provide lunch and we're just gonna make that happen. So Friday, not this Friday, but next Friday is going to be our first lunch and learn here. Then the following Friday we'll do it. And then after that, we'll be moving to Wednesday. So we couldn't get the room booked during that time, and I thought it was important to be consistent. So we're gonna do Friday, and then Wednesdays from there on out, okay? And so, guys, that works best if it's something you support. I know that you already have joined EXP, but I would ask that you come out to some of these meetings as well. Other people that are bringing guests would love to have some other people in the room besides just them and their guests, okay?
Who doesn't love free food?
It's for food.
Oh, and by the way, the last time I watched the video all the way through, it actually had changed, and there's several things in it that had changed. And so maybe just like coming to these meetings, you learn new things. You might learn some new things coming to what you think you already know. You might not know as much.
What time on Friday?
12 o'clock.
Yeah, in my best week to give everyone a little perspective, I watched the model explained 16 times with people and recruited 4 people. So it is possible, and that was in a week and a half period.
Barry, you're talking tomorrow, Friday?
No, the following Friday, not tomorrow, the following Friday. That would be a good way to put it. If I was-
Next, second.
If I was more organized, yes, it's going to be on the second. By the way, that goes for everybody online too. You guys are welcome to bring whoever you want. So if you're a part of Brent's organization, come on out.
Wonderful. Well, with that, call this meeting to an end. All right,
Thank you,
everybody, thanks for
John,
coming.
Putting this together.
Thank you, everybody online for being there. Thanks, Alicia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Barry, Wednesdays at noon as well, yeah?